So welcome everybody on our next OVP webinar. So we are really glad that you are here with us. Now my special guest is Jacek Skorzynski.
Nice to meet you again, Paweł.
It's again, I don't know, but we got lots of good feedback about our webinars, so we decided that we'll come back from the time to time and speak a little bit about the technology itself.
I think we are good at it. I don't know what you're thinking about it.
For sure, myself. No. And as you see, you think that I'm a little bit older, but it's not true. I'm just 1 year older. Few words about us before we'll go to the KVM stuff. Because I decided to take Jacek and says, okay, we need a little bit more information about the KVM journey and how it actually started and then where we are these days with the KVM technology. And
where are we going?
Where are we going? Right now? Or?
In the future.
In the future, of course. And where the KVM-based hypervisors and the solutions, actually the technology shops are going. And there will be some hint, of course, if you will stay till the end, you will hear a little bit about the containers and the vision from the Red Hat. And I think the KVM community actually.
From the industry perspective.
Yeah, industry perspective. So let's move forward. Few words about Jacek itself. And Jacek, I don't want to steal your stage because you are, as I said, you are the guest here, a special guest. Yeah.
We are here together, so I hope you're gonna join.
Okay. So give me 5, and let's go.
Okay. Nice to be here again. Thanks for having me. My name is Jacek Skorzynski, and I'm a solution architect at Red Hat. Specialized mainly in the infrastructure area at Red Hat. What I can say, somebody says about myself like Jacek Ansible Skorzynski, but today we're gonna talk about virtualization. So a little bit different topic, but still a lot in common with my main expertise. So area expertise, which is.
But there are some bicycles that you can put the 2 people tandem. It's in Polish,
Yeah.
but I don't remember. I don't know exactly the name in English.
I don't know.
But I'm guessing that is a kind of the parallel to the virtualization.
Yeah,
take both and one physical machine.
Yeah. So about me, about myself again, it's I'm a bike enthusiast. I'm riding, watching everything about bikes and volleyball. Yeah, those are like my 2 main hobbies which I do after work. So, Paweł,
Yep.
what about you?
A few words about myself. My name is Paweł Mączka. I'm CTO and VP at Storware. So my journey with the technology started actually when you will see the hashtag backup monsters, it's quite related to my personal interest. Like we're doing lots of backups as a Storware, not only from the KVM but the other hypervisors. But my passion is definitely the mountains and the playing on the guitar. Tomorrow you won't see the movie yet, but we have some integration party with my company, and we'll play some gig. So definitely I will let you know, and you can find me on a different social media. My favorite is LinkedIn. So hope you watching us not the first time. If you are first time, you should know that we always trying to talk about the technology a little bit different way to encourage you to use open source technology. It's just all about the open virtualization pro. So experts talking about the technology and a little bit encourage you to play with it. Okay, let's go.
Let's get started. So let's go back to the KVM topic, and let's talk a little bit about history of KVM. So it's just for all of you who are new maybe into it, or just jump in at some certain level. It's good to know where it came from and what are the origins of this technology. So let me elaborate a little bit about this. So it starts from the Qumranet, and in 2006, I think. I'm something more or less about this when Kumranet as a company started to develop KVM as a project. Then quite fast, after a year, it became integrated with Linux kernel. So you can find KVM in Linux kernel, basically. That means KVM is everywhere. Yeah, so that's the main thing about this. And 2 years later, in 2008, Red Hat acquired Kumranet, and then starts the beautiful journey about integrating KVM into RHEL, meaning Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 5.4. It was the first one, which has like a 2 engines, Zen and KVM, both working together. Of course, you can choose which one you would like to use. And then in RHEL 6, we've got KVM started to be or became a default one for RHEL. So this is like a brief overview about the history of KVM itself. Of course, there is like a much more, which we will take a look.
So 14 years of the journey, and you said 2008 Red Hat was acquired, yeah? Okay, so 12 years, and what's your no? Let's be honest. KVM do not dominate this market. Of course, the VMware took a huge piece of it. We have a Hyper-V because of the Microsoft. But what I've noticed in the last 5 years, I've seen the significant switch, and believe for the most of the customers that they would like to definitely differentiate the virtualization shops to, and in most cases they saying, okay, we're going to the KVM. I'm not saying we need to be also aware that we have a Zen, XCP-ng, and other technologies, but more and more often we hear the KVM, and I ask Jacek, okay, please prepare the reasons why they thinking about the KVM itself. And we don't want to only think about from money perspective, because we know that we live in a life in a times that everybody's trying to cutting up the budget, but don't treat a KVM because of the open source that this is only the reason why we should consider it. But definitely, this is what I said, we've seen this significant switch in the last few years.
Yep. So let's get started. Let's get started from the beginning, where you should find KVM useful, and where most of us, at least myself, started with KVM. Yeah. So from this kind of, we said like a garage approach. Yeah. So when you need a place to put your VMs, and you would like to do it somehow, the first, at least for me, it was my history. It was the obvious choice. It was KVM, basically. Yeah. So I took the first Linux distribution, which was at that time CentOS or Fedora. I don't remember really.
For sure, CentOS.
Yeah, something RHEL-like. I would say. Yeah. And I put my VMs there. Yeah, so it was like a easy choice for me. So for all of you who are not aware, as I said, KVM is integrated into Linux kernel. So doesn't matter on which distribution you are working right now, you've got KVM there. Yeah, so it's native to Linux, I could say. Of course, when we are talking about single node, is limited to single node. Yeah? So you don't have this, high-end capabilities like migrating VMs. Of course, you can do that as everything within open source. It's possible, but then it needs some kind of extra effort to do it. And single node management. Yes, here on the slide you've got the virtual machine manager, like standard GUI for managing your KVM-based workload, KVM-based machines. And of course, you are limited somehow from this perspective, because how many machines you can put on a single node? It depends on what kind of server you've got at home.
Yeah, I have a friend who has at least 50 VMs running in a home lab, and he said, okay, I need to, Paweł, send me a trial license for your backup, because I has no, there is no chance. We limit this free version only for 10. No, but of course it was a really good friend of mine, so we gave him this home lab access for the 50. But believe me, if 50 with this approach it's I think a little bit difficult.
Yeah. Could be tricky.
Could be tricky from the monitoring perspective, from management perspective. Of course, we're talking still about the home lab, but I cannot imagine that we running the legacy way or home lab in a production. But also we've seen this kind of approaches.
For sure, and it's not that rare, I would say. Yeah, so you will find probably maybe you already have some kind of experience in that, and there are a lot of production system working on pure KVM. Yeah, so it's not really rare still in our world. So it's a first thing. Yeah, if you think about, let's get started with virtualization, KVM should be your first choice, because it's free of charge, can be also supported. Yes, if you have let's say like a RHEL system, Red Hat Enterprise Linux system, we support also VMs on RHEL itself. Yes, so it could be also a supported way of doing that. But you need to think about scale. If you would like to scale with a bigger environment, maybe KVM is not the best choice for us, for you. So what is the next thing? And the next thing is a pure virtualization. So if we are talking about Red Hat virtualization or other platform, this is what we gonna find as a heart of the virtualization. And so this is our KVM. It's here. Yes, it's a crucial part of virtualization from Red Hat. And like a ref host or pure RHEL, which can be a fully qualified hypervisor for ref, it's available here. And you need to think about this as something where you can scale a lot. Yes? So if you are thinking about enterprise approach, about enterprise solutions, ref is for you basically. But still, KVM is there. KVM is the heart of everything. So if you already have an experience with pure KVM, you are more than welcome. This is just, another layer of management which gives you the Red Hat virtualization with Red Hat Virtualization Manager, and the rest remain the same.
Okay, when you mentioned the RHV, and because we're also the part of the open virtualization, we need to be aware that the open source brother or the sister is the Ovirt project.
The Ovirt, of course.
So always keep in mind that you can reach both platforms, but definitely if you would like to go on a production side and think about the for the longer term, having a support, the Red Hat virtualization is definitely the one of the key choices that you should go. And also important, you will mention what will be in the future with the ref, or actually what's going on right now with the RHV. But Jacek, when you speak with your customers, partners, and you're advising the RHV, give me, let's say, at least 1 or 2 reasons why we should consider the RHV from the technology point of view. Yes.
From the technology point of view, there is this is fully ready to use virtual platform, and we've got customers who are really working on the RHV as a main virtual platform in their environments. Yeah? So it's not like only for dev and test use cases. This is fully ready to be used in the enterprise solutions. I just put some use cases for you just to get to know or visualize where we can use Rev as a fully supported virtual platform from Red Hat, and it's basically everywhere. Yeah? So if you are thinking about having like a second leg for your virtualization, because you mentioned already, VMware is the leader. Yeah, we are not hiding that. This is obvious. Yeah, but more and more customers are trying to search for kind of maybe not an equivalent, but the second leg of virtualization. And Rev is a perfect choice for that because of broad portfolio of functionalities, because of 12 years in the market right now. So it's not like a 2 years technology. We just jump into this area. It's with us for more than 10 years already. Yeah? So it's a lot of experience behind us in here.
What I noticed is that a lot of managed service providers also invested in this area because it gives you, because everybody who's thinking about the SaaS approach, they looking how to make a really good margin especially when they will scale up or scale out. And the KVM with some other hyper orchestrators like CloudForms or other orchestrators that allows you to even build the hybrid cloud can be a really good benefit. So this is one of the use cases that I've seen that we speak with many customers. And the telco and the finance, actually. This is what I've seen from my projects, Jacek, when we're talking about as backup experts in a KVM field. We've seen the not hundreds but thousands of the VMs based, and this actually really good because I've seen the consolidation of the VMs and density of the VMs are like 5 physical machines to 1,000 of the VMs. This is a really good consolidation part and density. This is one of the reasons when we speak with some architects why also they choose the KVM. It gives you the really boost even if you compare with the other technologies.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move on and let's talk about road to cloud.
I found something. I found cloud.
Oh,
I haven't noticed before.
Oh,
Let's talk about the cloud.
I don't know what's that. So maybe you can.
With Jacek, there is always something. When we had a webinar or last time the meetup, you had a problem with some cameras, and it was always not rectangle, but how to say prostokąt? My Polish friends, how to say prostokąt in a chat will be appreciated. But there's always something. But let's talk about the cloud, not cloud today, okay?
Cloud, yeah. Cloud?
Cloud.
I have no idea about that.
You're the expert. Go on.
Okay, so I will move on to cloud. So what we observe right now that in the cloud area, meaning like cloud providers, like public cloud providers, if we can be more specific, we observe that there is a lot of push into the KVM technology. So IBM or Amazon or Google, they are already in this area. They use KVM not only as a hosted service, but they rely on it regarding their infrastructure. So it's really crucial to highlight it, because this gives us actually a power for the discussion. If those guys are using KVM in their environment, and their environment, we know it's huge. So it's not like one server or even 100 servers. It's much bigger, and if they think that the KVM is mature enough, if they think that the KVM is reliable enough to be their platform for the virtualization workload. So what is the other question I'm asking myself to?
This is a challenge. This road to cloud is actually challenging for me personally, and from the Storware perspective, because the customers right now are pushing me to this direction, saying, Paweł, give me the ability to have a totally DR on a cloud side. And so we're doing lots of effort to make it happen in the next releases, like instant restoration, like option to just power on the virtual machine on the other side, with the duplication replication. Believe me, in a VMware, it's already done. Like the gold setup is the VMware and the EC2 in the AWS. But if you have a managed service providers with the KVM, they would like to have the same approach to build the disaster recovery as a service. So for me, road to cloud is definitely the proper path where we should go. And also with the KVM, you can find not only the biggest players like IBM, Google, or even AWS, which already invested in the KVM. They don't say about it, but the KVM is behind the scenes, and not only the VMware workloads. So I'm looking forward when my platform will help to achieve this goal to build the disaster recovery as a service for both sides, even from one side for the MSPs, but also gives this brilliant opportunity for the customers. But this is what I'm saying is looking for, and it's quite challenging.
Yeah, and I need to mention about one more player, which is still in the game, which is OpenStack. Maybe it's not as popular right now as it was like, I know, 3-4 years ago, but it's still there, and it's still evolving, and there are new features, new functionalities going on into it, pushing into certain directions. Of course, there are like telco right now is the one which benefits the most from the from OpenStack because of 5G and so on, but it's still there. And we need to know, of course, we need to have in mind that hypervisor for like a native hypervisor for OpenStack is KVM. If we are thinking about launching instances on OpenStack, there is KVM there for sure. And that's why I put as a last example Rackspace, because the Rackspace is mostly OpenStack based provider. So thinking about this way, every single provider who is providing OpenStack or is based on OpenStack, like their infrastructure is based on OpenStack, they use KVM also. And this is also a huge potential, huge amount of market players.
Yeah, OpenStack is, even from the 5G perspective, and I said telco, I've seen lots of movement here, but still, honestly, OpenStack always requires more staff, more people to maintain, because it's not as simple as a legacy KVM based or even the Red Hat Virtualization. So you need to always double check and answer the question if this approach is right for us. If we're thinking about build the multi-tenancy or building the our private or hybrid cloud approach, definitely the OpenStack could be one of the reasons. But also RHV with the CloudForms. Do not forget about this setup when you can create the catalog of the services based of your KVM infrastructure.
So if you think about OpenStack is more or less like a way to do your virtual infrastructure in a programmatical way. Yeah? So there is an API, of course there is a graphical user interface like Horizon, but you know, who is using that?
honestly, who is using that?
So it's more or less like a programmatical way of doing your I would say VM infrastructure or infrastructure based on cloud instances. Yeah, so that's the goal.
Jacek, what about the Rackspace? I believe what I noticed, actually, I read a few years ago that I think that it was one of the first biggest cloud providers who invested into this area. And I heard about these rumors, but I don't know exactly how many workloads on Amazon moved into the KVM. Maybe you have some hints from.
So from Amazon, what I know is that they start on Xen, and they build their infra on Zen first of all. But right now we can see, of course, we are not there, so I don't have like strict numbers to put here, but we can see that they are moving more and more and more into KVM. And of course there are a lot of materials on internet, so you can just search for that and you will find out that this is really something, this is the technology which is getting momentum in this area. All right, do you have anything else to add into the road to cloud?
No, but I said I believe everything. But maybe what's your let's say I have on-prem installation. So let's imagine I have let's say 4 or 6 hosts in a cluster, and I'm using the Orbit or RHV or just KVM legacy. And I would like to think about the cloud approach. What will be your advice? From which point I should start my journey with the cloud, or some use cases here?
Yeah, so we've got like the most things are when you are starting your journey with the traditional virtualization like Ref or VMware or something similar to it, and then you move your workload. So we observe customers who are moving into the still private cloud but based on OpenStack. So you are get to know and trying to use your cloud as it is a cloud. Yes, so you are not trying to use cloud as a traditional virtualization. So that's something which is like in between. And then when you go, when your strategy is ready and your company is ready to move to public cloud, you know those principles. Yes, you know that you should act with your environment in a more programmatical way rather than just one by one clicking through the GUI. And that's something which we observe currently. All right, so let's maybe jump into the most
so we talk about the cloud. We
Yes.
talk about the cloud.
Did I made any?
No, it's
typo
right now.
here?
Right now, it's perfect. It's containers, and this is quite challenging. Previously, when we had a meetup with the Red Hat team, we discussed about the opportunity that the world is a little bit changing, and we've seen quite significant different approaches. One of the companies trying to make the containers on the virtualization, but there are some companies who are trying to do it in the opposite way.
Yep. And
you know the names?
I know this company. Actually, it's here. So
White Hat.
Yeah, Red Hat.
Sorry, I was on your chat. That's why.
White Hat.
White Hat.
No, Red Hat. All right. So
why are you funny about your company? Okay, no, do not go in this direction. Sorry for that.
Yeah, let's leave it. So yes, we are approaching this change in the industry. Like the containers starts or became more and more important over some period of time. And what we are trying to do is actually to build a one platform for the whole workload, I would say. So it's not only about VMs, it's not only about containers, it's about both coexisting or working together on one platform. And then the idea for that comes from our community, from our developers. Yes, they already developed some upstream project named KubeVirt. So for those of you who are not aware about this, please search for KubeVirt to look at it, and you will find out some nice things there. But the idea here behind is that if the KVM from the Linux perspective is like a process working on the operating system, on the Linux operating system, why can't we just take it and put it into container, or just to be more specific, into a pod, a Kubernetes pod, and run it as a container workload? So from this perspective, seems like it should be done. It's nothing really scary.
It's nothing strange.
Yeah, but if you go a little bit deeper, there are some constraints, of course, and we are already. I should say, I must say, as I'm a Red Hat person, we are already there. I mean, we already started this journey. So if we go into the OpenShift platform and try to find out something like OpenShift Virtualization, you will see that it's already there. So you already can run on the OpenShift platform a VMs basically, and run migrate even your workload from the traditional VM world like KVM world or Rev world or VMware world into the OpenShift. So it's already there, but still there is a lot to do, of course. And in a big picture, it's like an easy task to do. You've got a process you need to migrate or put it into container, and it's gonna work. But you need to think about this process as a VM. And if we still want to take care of our VMs like about pets, yes, versus cattle, which is still valid here, we need to have a special equipment for that. And so that's why this needs still a lot of functionality to build around, and it is ongoing process. It's like more or less like an evolution rather than revolution.
So in deep dive, we take in a pod, and inside the pod we run in the libvirt.
Yes.
And run actually the KVM. So this is the way how to get a state, not stateless, but stateful machines into the still container world.
Yeah, but you need to think about, of course, some areas like, all right, so when something goes wrong, how I'm gonna migrate my machine between nodes and stuff like that, which you normally don't do with containers. Yes, you just kill one and spin up another one. With VM based or VM like containers, which emulates or have a VM inside, basically working, you cannot do that. Yes, you need to think about like from the VM perspective. Yes, so there is a lot of things to do. Of course, we are doing that, and we are developing this platform a lot. Really nice. It's looking currently, but we still don't forget about Rev, about our virtualization. So it's not gonna be like, we are cutting this off and then that's it. Yes, now you've got only OpenShift. We are still investing in Rev because we can see that it's gonna be a journey. It's like we said, it's a trend. It's something where we are approaching like a vision, yeah? Which is still currently is available, but doesn't have all the things, all the features which we need at that time.
Okay, Jacek, I believe you can a little bit try to summarize.
Yep.
I like this approach, but I believe also that it will last at least few years when we will mature this actually vision into the proper execution. But keep in mind that in the latest RHV 4.4 and the OVID 4.4, and in the latest OpenShift, there is already the integration done. I've seen some scenarios. So the journey actually has started.
Yes.
And keep in mind that when you will see the OpenShift and the virtualization, this is not a blog post with the CEO approach to catch you on a Google, but this is actually the new technology which combining the libvirt KVM with the OpenShift and Kubernetes inside. Okay. We promised 5 reasons. Let's try to remind all of the attendees what we should think and what is the reason from the most important to the less important, or all of the important. Why we should consider the KVM in our workloads these days or in the near future. Yeah.
So starting from maybe not from the beginning, but maybe somewhere in the middle.
In short, my friend. 3 minutes. Or 5.
Nice. So KVM became like a standard in the cloud. So if we are thinking about private, public, KVM is there most of the time. So if it's there, meaning it's stable, it's reliable. So that speaks for itself. Then next thing is it's built into the great technology as like Ref or Ovirt, which is already in the industry on the market for like 12 years right now. So it's next thing. If you think about starting your journey with the virtualization, then KVM is just for you, because it's available for every single Linux distribution, and you need to know that the Linux is I don't want to say, but yeah, let's say it's a future. It's current, it's future for our workload, not only from the standard perspective but also from the container perspective.
Do not hesitate. Be honest. This is all about. It's all about the honesty. Yeah.
And next thing is the future. So as we spoke, we seek a clear vision. Their approaches are different. Someone is doing it from the VM up to containers. Some companies are doing this opposite way. But the vision is clear. The containers are going to be more and more important. I don't want to say or speculate when it's gonna be this real shift. Like we're gonna get rid of the VM workload and start to think only about containers. But it's right now. It's going on right now. So you need to think about KVM as a bridge between current virtualization world and the future container world, because it's there is a clear vision, at least for Red Hat.
Okay, I think we're done. Yeah. Last slide. Questions.
All right.
Do
you have any?
I promise questions? We'll do it in 40 minutes. I know we started in Polish, and it was not so comfortable for you. I'm sorry for that. But definitely, I think we covered most of the things that we wanted.
Yep.
So Jacek, thank you, and let's wait for the questions here. Go on, feel free.
If you have any, just.
So my last thing: do not forget about the desktop virtualization. You mentioned it when you show the use cases.
Yes.
But also from the end on the education universities, we've seen lots of projects based on the KVM from the VDI perspective. I think this is one of the approaches that we've seen more and more often, to use the KVM with the SPICE technology to provide the terminal and the VDI approach.
And also a hyperconverged approach. We didn't mention about this, I think, with Red Hat.
Yet also.
So it's.
But we had a different webinar about it. So
yeah,
do not overkill with the numbers of the use cases.
Let's leave it.
Okay, team. We don't see any additional questions. So definitely we would like to thank you for the time spent with us. Our guest was, and it still is, Jacek Skorzynski from the Red Hat team.
Thank you.
My name is Paweł Mączka, and
from Storware
team, and we are really grateful that you took a time and spend the time 40 minutes with us. We're looking forward for you to just go to openvirtualization.pro, sign to the newsletter, or to grab information about our latest blogs or the next webinars. And of course, because I said Storware, if you look for any good option to protect the KVM-based hypervisor, keep in mind there is a solution called vProtect. I know this is a call to action, but I needed to do it. Yeah, I was forced to do it. Nevertheless, sorry for the dry jokes. Have a great day, Jacek. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Paweł.
See you on next one of the sessions, definitely. And giving us, There is a question, Jacek. There is a question.
On which workloads you are planning to use KVM? This is the one which I can.
Yeah, but it was
here.
open one for all of them, so do not answer it.
Yeah,
because you will kill the next 40 minutes.
Okay.
No, just
it
say
was. I mean, there is no like a specific workload. As you could see previously on our slides and use cases, there is actually you can use KVM for every single workload, which is VM based. Yeah, so that's what we can do with it. And is KVM ready for ARM platforms? To be honest, I don't know. I hope it is. Yeah, we've got it. I'm joking.
Thank you, Jacek. Again, we appreciate your time. Stay in touch. Go on Twitter or the website just to subscribe us, and see you on one of our next webinars with the guests from the Red Hat Storware team. Thank you.
Thank you very much.